can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah.
Get it, everybody. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. This is the morning show on Stock Market TV. Spencer, Steve, JC with you. On this bull market Wednesday, I was told specifically, we were told by Strazza yesterday in Slack, he said, wear a bull market shirt today. So this is what I wore because, I don't know, it's bright, and bright color is equal bull market. I don't know. So let's talk about yesterday. What a day, huh? What a day for stocks and crypto. Not so much commodities. That's okay. We'll talk about that today. Got some big movers today. Not every day do you have big movers. You got some movers today. I like action. You know, I like seeing stocks gapping up or gapping down 20, 30, 40% like we have this morning. But we'll see where the show takes us. I don't know. Well, can you stop by? What's going on, chat? What up, Charles? How we doing? We're good? Yes. Rachel is here for the bull market, as are we all. Let's get the show on the road. Here we go.
Oh, Mr. Steve Strazza, the only one wearing a bull market shirt today, following the rules. Spencer Israel, that doesn't count.
You can't see like the design on this shirt, but it's
Listen, just because it's tight from when you were in 7th grade doesn't make it a bull market shirt. All right, Spencer?
This is like an island shirt.
I don't know what that is.
And why is it that you're not celebrating, sir?
Oh, because I was told that it was a bear market. So I've been at the beach for a month, and I didn't prepare accordingly because I was told it was a bear market. So I didn't have my bull market shirt.
No, we got to get you some more appropriate attire.
It's fake news. I have bull market shirts, dude. I have great ones. I just didn't bring them with me to the beach. You know, you can only bring so much. I'm not like my wife who brings her whole entire fucking closet to the beach for a month. You know, I'm not like that. Less is more for me.
All right, so I'll be the only one having fun. But, it's important that we do, and happy new all-time highs to you. It's important that we do celebrate these moments in bull markets because it's not always a bull market. So you really want to have fun and, get while the getting's good, really. So I hope you get yourself a bull market shirt.
I got them. I just don't have them at the beach. But they sell the bull market shirts here at the beach. So I'm going to they got a Lily Pulitzer. I don't think that's for dudes.
Lily Pulitzer? No, you got to go to like a Tommy Bahama or something.
Dude, let me tell you something. The stores here in Avalon, it is it is criminal how expensive some of these clothes are. Even my wife's like, I could get that on TJ for like way cheaper.
They only get you for 3 months a year, JC. They gotta really milk it.
Dude, they're getting you, man. They're getting you. Good eats here in Avalon. Big shout out to Avalon, New Jersey. Underrated state. I don't know if you heard. Underrated. Florida, overrated. New Jersey, underrated.
So speaking of
as somebody who was born there, I'm a valid critic. I also did live in New Jersey for 2.5 years in Hoboken. Does that count? That counts, right?
No joking. Yeah.
Not New Jersey, but it's New York making all the headlines out here this morning. Some good jokes in the chat already. I mean, is it really a surprise at this point that they want the communist? New York. More and more like California every day.
Me in. I don't. What happened with the communists?
Oh, the primary election. I don't know. I was just glad to see Cuomo get. Not that I care. I don't even live in New York, but I was just glad to see him get wiped. That was fun.
But here's my question: as somebody who's barely paying attention to this,
yeah,
didn't both Cuomo and Adams get like into some naughty stuff? Didn't they both get in trouble like for big scandals? How are they both still?
I think it's a prerequisite to be a politician in New York City.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say.
Scandals. And I think it's like a rite of passage. I think
you have to be an incompetent boob to be qualified as mayor of the city.
And I quote, an incompetent boob.
Yeah.
Spencer Israel coming in hot this morning.
Calling them does seem that way. So anyway, the guy who's going to get elected is like a legit communist.
No, this was the primary, man. The real thing is not for.
Yeah, it's 70%.
Yeah, listen.
Go look at the betting
And
markets.
just because they're communists doesn't make it a bad place. New York, look at California. California is an amazing place, right?
Yeah,
And they
depends where you go, right?
yeah, depends where you go, but like they got some shit going on over there. But it's amazing, beautiful, beautiful place. New York City, best city in the world. Even a communist mayor. Is that what we're talking about here? A mayor?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Who cares?
I liked the viral video from a few weeks ago when and I promise after this we'll move on. But they asked during the debate, which borough have you campaigned in the least? And you can guess what all of them said. Staten Island, because nobody goes there.
Isn't it the smallest though?
Nobody goes there.
Staten Island is a lot bigger than you think.
Really?
Yeah.
Big. Okay.
Dude, Staten Island is huge.
All right. Let's state some markets.
Do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Dow Jones Industrial Average doing absolutely nothing this morning. 0.0, Mr. Blutarski. 43,420 for the Dow, doing nothing this morning. S&P's up a smidge. 9 handles to the upside, 61.55 for S&P futures. NASDAQ 100 futures, after closing at new all-time highs, are up again, another 1/3%. The NASDAQ 100, ladies and gentlemen, has never been this high. You could go back to the dinosaurs and do the math. The NASDAQ has never been this high, ever, ever, ever. 30-year bond futures down 1/3%. Back at 114.5 for the 30-year. Crude oil bouncing a little bit this morning, up 2/3%, still under 65. Copper up 0.5% at 490. Looking to break out there. Copper continues to push higher. Gold flat, 33.37 for gold. Silver flat, 35.70 with the VIX down again, down to 17. This thing was at 60 not too long ago. Over in funny money land, you got Bitcoin up another 1,000 points this morning, 107,200 for the BTC, 24.25 for Ethereum, down 1% on the day. You got old Solana. Solana 146 flat this morning with the total crypto market cap. Mr. Spencer Israel 3.25 trillion. 3.25 trillion. What stands out from this morning's futures?
The new highs. So the strongest indexes have completed the V's. That's big. Industrials, communications are right there. Tech did it first. NASDAQ 100 now. S&P is a green candle away. So, and if you drill in, quantum computing, space and exploration, the strong stuff already went.
Shall we?
Mm-hmm.
I think we shall. Throw up slide 2 there, Mr. Spencer Israel. Bringing out the old NASDAQ 100, which some would argue, I do not, some would argue that this is the stock market, Steve Strazza. Would you argue that or no?
I'm fine with it. The S&P is the market, but if you want to argue this, I'm cool with that.
I think
this has everything important.
Listen, I think we can all agree the NASDAQ 100 is very important. But let's remember what this is. Half this thing is technology. Half the entire index is technology.
More
and
than that, probably.
if you include the communication stocks and stuff like that, and some of these consumer discretionary, you're looking at more like 75-80% of the index is technology. No financials, no energy, no materials, no real estate, barely any industrials. So for me, hard to say that it's the market, but I will say that it is a very, very, very important segment of capital markets. That I will say. How's that?
These are the most widely owned stocks in the world. And I think if you had to pick one index that would reflect most people's portfolios, it would probably be the NASDAQ. Because think about what you just said.
Yeah, but fuck most people.
Owns, nobody owns
most
energy,
people,
materials. Nobody owns those stocks anymore.
Right, but that's problematic, though.
For who?
For them.
Yeah.
And I'll show you why. If you want to just skip on down to slide 5, here's slide 5. Also new all-time highs that if you own all these tech stocks, these are the ones that most people own, which I don't really care about those people, right? That's their problem that they make poor choices, right? I'm interested in me, right? I'm the one that matters, right? My crew, the people in the chat. These are our crew, us, this beautiful community that we have here. That's what I'm interested in. And you know what we're interested in? The fact that the broker dealers and exchanges are making new all-time highs, and none of these stocks are in the NASDAQ. How about that? How about them apples?
Yeah. Economy stocks, pro-cyclicals, risk on. This is offensive. The broker dealers. Oh, they'll be back. You can go right on down the line if you want. So brokers and dealers, one of the first groups. What do you got next?
Well, I just wanted to bring this up because none of these names are in the NASDAQ, right? These are very different names.
There's some of them.
There's some of them. Yeah, fine. You got Goldman Sachs, not in the NASDAQ. You got S&P Global, Morgan Stanley. Those are the big three components there. 14% of the broker dealers and exchange index is Goldman Sachs. 12% is S&P Global. 12% is Morgan Stanley. And then it goes down from there. And you got the Schwab and the Robinhood and the Coinbase and CME, Moody's, ICE, MSCI, and it goes down from there. The big three, very, very different. Which I think gets back to my earlier point. The NASDAQ 100 is incredibly important. No one's taking that away, right? Yeah. But in my opinion, it's only important because it represents such an important segment of the market. Guess what? This one represents arguably a segment of the market that is equally as important, right?
Yeah,
so
I think that's fair.
The NASDAQ 100 making new all-time highs, and then I would look in conjunction with that, the broker dealers and exchanges making new all-time highs. And what is the conclusion? Things probably ain't that bad. Ain't that bad.
I think you got to put semiconductors right there on that list with them of these pro-cyclicals just breaking out to new all-time highs.
Semis are going to be moving with the Qs, though. So you're already getting that in there.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And how about industrials?
Right. Strazza's spot on about the semiconductors being really important, but you're getting the semis as part of the Qs.
And you know what, JC? It's more than just the semis. It just like broker dealers, been leaders consistently the entire cycle. Semiconductors were that way up until last summer. So seeing stocks like Nvidia and Broadcom pretty much, capping off their V-shaped recoveries, and looks like they're ready to break out to new all-time highs. Nvidia's right there. Broadcom already did it. I think that's incredibly constructive too. You want to see those leaders kind of back at the front line.
New 11-month highs for the semiconductors index yesterday. Not quite new 52-week highs, but the highest level since last July.
Okay.
For semiconductors, just an FYI. Let's move this forward to slide 4 there, which include a series of stocks that once again are not part of the NASDAQ 100. However, I have argued and will continue to argue that these are equally as important. You've got the tech stocks in the NASDAQ. You've got the broker dealers. And then, of course, you have the industrials currently making new all-time highs that, by the way, in case you hadn't done the math, of all 11 S&P sectors, which is the one that has the highest correlation over time with the actual S&P 500, it's not financials, it's not tech, it's industrials. It's industrials. A very diversified group of stocks. In fact, there isn't a single stock in the industrials index that represents more than 6% of the entire sector. That's GE, currently at 6%. After that, it's Raytheon at 4%, Uber at 4%, Caterpillar just under 4%, Boeing just under 4%, Honeywell under 4%, right? So there isn't like this Amazon that represents a quarter of the index, or the Chevron and Exxon that represents such a massive weighting in energy, or Apple and Nvidia and Microsoft and technology. Like, you don't have any of that. It is very diversified, which is probably why it's the sector with the highest correlation with the S&P 500, because it's so diversified.
All of these things that we're talking about, all of these charts, incredibly bullish, and they speak to an environment where risk appetite, is really supportive of these breakouts.
Well, it's certainly not evidence of risk aversion.
No, it is outright risk appetite. I haven't seen this degree of risk appetite all cycle.
At the risk of getting Steve Strazza's head any bigger than it already is.
Well,
This is the last thing that I want to do is make your head any bigger. Nobody
Yeah.
wants that. But we do give credit around here where credit is due. One Steven Strazza, throw up slide 6 there, has been pounding the table about the stock and his man crush on the CEO for such a long time.
Oh, Coinbase?
And
Yeah.
there it is. Steve Strazza. Well done, sir. Well
Well,
done. I
sometimes
mean,
you
there's
have to
nothing
be,
I could say. You've been on it. You've been on it. Well done, sir.
you
You
have to
want
be
to take your
patient.
victory lap? Tell the
Oh,
folks why it is that you've been pounding the table on this name for so long, and it has most definitely come to fruition.
Coinbase is so exciting. They are, just far and away the industry leader in terms of crypto. They're doing like 66%. Did you know that? Of trades in the US? 66% of US crypto trades go through them. And they're projecting that I think going out to like 26 or 27, that number is going to come down a little bit, but still be at like 60%. So they absolutely own the space. If you believe in crypto and you think that this is a legit asset class that's going to be around for a while, they finally have a regulatory backdrop that is allowing them to flourish and kind of execute on all the plans that they've had for a long time now, because they were kind of strapped by the last administration. It's go time for Coinbase. And I think the stock's breaking out to new all-time highs any day now. And think too, just a month ago, they added it to the S&P 500. I was looking through a Bernstein note this morning, and the sell
Can we
side.
just hold on? Can we just stop right there? I
Well,
was looking through a Bernstein note this morning. Talk about
so
nerd alert.
So there, the sell side is estimating that there's anywhere from like 10 to 18 billion dollars of new buying that needs to come into this stock due to that inclusion. Remember when Palantir got added? It's just like a slow drag higher. This doesn't happen in a day when you get
How long
added to
does
the
it
S&P
usually
500.
last, Strazza?
I think, dude, 2 months. But Coinbase really like chilled out and flagged for a while, right? And now you're
Yeah.
seeing those flows pour back in. And that's really helping the stock. It's fueling this reaction rally from this bull flag. But
Can
it
you
has been.
send me a said Bernstein note?
So listen to this,
I
JC.
need some Kingling for my
I can
fire up.
send you a whole breakdown of it. Are you using Chat GPT as much as you should?
Me
I'll tell a
personally,
story. Yeah, yeah.
funny you should ask.
Are you?
I have, and I got on the phone. I got in a conversation with my mother-in-law and my mother, both in their. We'll leave their age out of it, but they're my. uh, they are not younger than us. Nevertheless, both of them very actively using ChatGPT. One of them started a new job in February or March, and so she wasn't using it before that, but now her company is using it. So like in the Zoom calls, they got the AI in there taking notes. Both of
Yeah.
them do that, and they also help writing emails and stuff like that. My mother-in-law and my mother. I'm like, really? I was fascinated by this. This was a couple days ago. So I mean, I'm using it every day, and it turns out my mother and my mother-in-law are using it every day too. And to be clear, they're using it as like civilians, not like, oh my God, we have to invest in this shit. Like, none of
No.
that.
Well, that's how I started using it recently. I'll be completely honest. I was into it and I played with it plenty when it first came out about 2 years ago. We were using it, remember, in the early days, and it was good. It was cool, but it wasn't like changed my life. I need it all day, every day back then. Remember, we were using it to like write scripts for the documentary and stuff like that
I was
in the
using
early
it to
days.
write rap songs.
Yeah.
I'm like, write me a poem if it was written by Christopher Wallace, the Notorious B.I.G.,
Yes, you did that.
using
Yeah.
only movie quotes from The Big Lebowski. It was like
That was
stuff
funny.
like that, just like outrageous things just to make me chuckle. That's what I was
Yes.
using it for. And you want to know something? Some of the best technology in history, the early users were just nerds having fun. I would put myself in that category of nerds having fun with new technology whenever that came out a few years ago. Now we're actually using it for business purposes.
So can I finish my story? This isn't
Please,
about you.
please.
I stopped
You asked
using it.
me. You asked me.
Dude, I stopped using it for like a year, right? Just letting them kind of sort out who the best platform is, and I think that's pretty clear by now. Also, we have an analyst team. They're like AIs. Like I could just like explain a spreadsheet that I want built, and there's like 4 guys like just gonna bang it out and make the sexiest spreadsheet ever. So I'm not using it to write spreadsheets at all, which some people are doing very effectively. I started using it again, I don't know, a month or two ago for looking for houses.
Looking for houses.
Oh, dude, so good. It'll tell you about neighborhoods. Tell me about this neighborhood. What's the nice neighborhood in Naples, right? You know what I mean? And it was so good at that. So I started using it more and more and more. Now I'm using it every morning as like a junior analyst. It's like I got somebody sitting right next to me. I'll look at the wire. I'll see, oh, Co2 management investment in this. Oh, is this a new investment? Is it an old investment? When did they start buying the stock? ChatGPT lets me know like that. So this morning I said, summarize the Bernstein note on Coinbase. And it was like, dude, there isn't one. And I was like, you're wrong. Okay. Because it's here. It's coming across all the wire services. I see it on Twitter. ChatGPT is like, no, I don't think so. Maybe you're confused. Send me the links. Send them the links. ChatGPT is like, oh, you're right. I found it. And then summarize the whole thing. I just sent it to you. So, I mean, this thing is so damn good, JC, whether you're using it, like you said, for work or just practical applications in the real world in your everyday life. You got to play with the toys. And I took too much time off. I'm behind now. So I'm just having a blast. And my mind is blown like every morning at what it can do.
You should talk to Danny. He's using N9N, I think it is what it is. N9N. And like Danny doesn't know anything about coding. He's not a computer science guy. But he is using I think it's N9N. Do I have that right, Spencer? I might be butchering it. Something like that. And he's using it to code, and it's really working. It's a little above our pay grade, I think, but it's other ones.
It's N8N, but close enough.
N8N.
And Danny's
N9N. I was thinking 9-inch nails.
Danny's going to replace every single person here, including himself. Actually, he's going to replace himself.
I doubt that. I'll take the under, right, Strazza?
I think we'll be okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sure we'll be fine. We are, Spencer, we are what is referred to as the talent.
All right. So Steve uses ChatGPT. I use, at this point, I'm using Perplexity for my AI search stuff. Danny uses Claude.
Is anybody using Gemini? Just curious.
I did sort of use it for the first time yesterday, but I haven't really used it enough to play with it. And also, every time you Google something, you're using Gemini.
Right, exactly. I've noticed that.
So I can't imagine that any of them could be better than ChatGPT. I can't imagine
better or worse. They're just different. It's like sushi and ribeyes. They're just different. It's not better or worse.
And you know what? Grok sucks.
I haven't used it. I can't say.
I don't think it's terrible.
I can't even search for my own tweets and find them on Twitter anymore. I don't know what happened to this website. But it's a damn shame.
It's a damn shame. All right. Well, speaking of AI, my personal intraday AI is here. One Kenny Glick, a.k.a. the Warlock, a.k.a. the grandfather of day trading. Nobody out there has day traded for longer than one Kenny Glick. That's a fact.
I got to talk to Kenny today.
Talk to him right now.
Good.
All right.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Man, that fires me up every time.
By the way, good shirt, buddy. Good shirt.
Look at this guy following orders. Good man. Good man.
By the way,
I knew I could count on you.
The last time the market's been this bullish, this song was playing on the airwaves. Remember this one?
Nelly, baby, country grammar, all day.
Close.
This is EI. No, ride with me.
Ride with me. I remember when the Nasdaq was breaking 1,000. I think for the first time, we were smoking hell in the back of my boy's Benz.
This was one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see him like in a couple of weeks. If you guys want to join me, yeah. That was my first week of freshman year of college. That's what that song will forever remind me about, is the luau on Fairfield Beach in September of 2000. And that song had just come out, and it was just on replay again and again and again. You know, partaking in similar behaviors as Kenny was describing and things of that nature.
Good times. Was it cool shirt day? I didn't get the memo. This is what
it was bull market shirt day. So
all right, cool.
I'm breaking the rules.
I was looking for my original Dow 10,000 hat, but I couldn't find it.
Kenny, let me ask you this. You know, as I learned from the great philosopher from Glick's Picks, is that if you ain't fading, you ain't trading. Is this a market that you want to fade?
No, not since the power gap, May 11th power gap, guys. I told you we have no chance of going down ever again. And the reason I'm really good at this now, as the ex-president of the Bear Market Foundation Fund of America, I'm just the traveling secretary now, and I'm also about to resign. I've been a victim to these moves so many times that this time I didn't make that same mistake. And, you know, once we power gapped on May 11th, that was it. The shorts were completely trapped, and all the longs that were debating whether or not to buy into this market were left wanting. And since that day, we've just been consolidating, going higher, and here we are, all-time highs. I didn't think we'd get to the all-time highs. That was the last thing I thought we'd see. I thought we'd rally, consolidate, and maybe pause and maybe not get to all-time highs. But I don't know. Now that we're here, it's just I would not be fading. And right now we're going back to one of the first lessons I learned as a trader. Do not sell unless you break prior day lows. And that's where I'm at. I'm not no selling unless prior day lows get broke.
I'm so with you. I think there's a risk of the market going into like melt up mode over the short term here, because think of all of the people on the sidelines waiting for that correction or retest of the lows from May or April that never came.
Yeah.
And now they have to admit to themselves that they were fucking wrong.
Right. The retest lows. Oh, yeah. But now we'll have the crowded trade people. The market's gone up too fast. We need a correction of the correction that's been corrected. And it's like, this is the story. It's like now, you know, that's why May 11th was so significant. That was the last chance to get in at decent prices. The last chance was shorts to cover before we really started this rally. I did some math yesterday. And again, you might have thought I was joking. I'm looking at the Qs at 1,040 on April 20th, 2028. And that's a conservative price because, you know, if we only just tack on another 10% here, we're looking at the 600s, right? And the Qs to the end of the year. That's 10% from here. You don't think we're going to see another 10% on the upside? You know, somebody said, but this market's already rallied 35% off the lows. But that was an insignificant move because that was just the comeback. Now we're entering the new bull market. The comeback was the 30%. We're only up like what 2% for the year now. I don't even know what the number is, but it's just hard not to be bullish, especially when you got stocks like Bull. Hood.
Yeah.
Telling you that Hood and Uber and finally my company SRAD, the one I've been buying every day for the last month,
breaking out,
everything's moving, and that used to make the bears say, "Oh no, now we're in irrational, exuberant bullish mood." That's bearish. There is nothing bearish going on until there is something going on to be bearish about, and I'll be the first to let you know, guys. I'll be the first to let you know.
Kenny, to answer your question, the Qs are officially up. Total return 5.8% for the year.
Okay.
S&P's total return over 4%. Dow only 2%. This is compared to the All Country World Index, ex-US, so the rest of the world, up 17%.
Right. We got some catch up. Right. Like Reddit, my friends, like Reddit. Remember that wasn't participating in the rally. And then once they get like programmed to join in the rally, you're not just going up 2%, 5%. Your stocks are tacking on 10, 15, 20, 100 in this market. So
meanwhile, just an FYI, Germany up 32%, China up 23%, Israel up 20%, new all-time highs again yesterday.
Right.
China looks ready to go, and there's a ton of hot speculative growth stocks out of China that just looks so good right now. Kenny, I'm noticing that anything with AI in its name has been catching a bid pre-market all week. Have you seen this?
Oh yeah, quantum is back. You know, even the lesser known quantum stocks are back. I mean, what's not back? That's the thing. It's the everything rally right now. Except again, I was looking for short opportunities. How about those energy and oil stocks from when they were gapping up last week? Look where RBNE is now, friends. I told you to short the stock. It's a worthless piece of garbage that was up on the Iran news. You just had to hammer these things. They were all
but there are some energy stocks holding up great despite.
Well, these were the dregs. The dregs when you get those 400% moves, they're just going to give it right back. But other than that,
in a day on war headlines.
That Com stock is looking.
Com looks great. But I'm talking about SoundHound, Tempest AI, these forgotten AI names that were good last year, I think they're about to take off again.
You're probably right, because you've been nailing everything. The ASTS. So let's talk about ASTS. So what do you make of the offering? I look at this as a chance for this stock to prove how bullish it is. If you shake off this offering and you stay stable, let alone go in green. If it goes green, I'm putting my life savings into ASTS on the break today. So now they did an offering, the stock's down. What's your take on that?
This is the kind of one where it's like you just got to see how high it goes at this point. There's been a relentless bid. It's green every single day since it broke out.
Right. But you saw the news today, right?
Yeah, they did a secondary.
Right. So
they're all going to do that when they rally. By the way, guys, these ARK stocks, like it comes with the territory. So I don't know. I think that the easy money's definitely been made in that one for now.
For sure.
Dude, isn't Archer a great example? That sold off slightly on the secondary. You buy that dip, don't you, Strazza?
Big fan of that too.
Archer burns more money than any of these guys. It's amazing how fast these guys burn through the capital that they're raising. People are throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at this company to make little flying freaking helicopters. They're just burning through all of it all year. And then they get more. It's really incredible.
Me in one of those either. Yeah, no.
Shout out. Only in America.
But listen, my sleeper pick, this NVTS, consolidation. And yesterday the buyer showed up again. I'm waiting for this thing to break back over 8. This thing looks like it's headed to 12, maybe $15. It's like I said, I mean, these stocks. Also another one I'm loving right now. We bought more yesterday. Sale. You guys know about Sale? SAIL.
Of course.
Right. This close to all-time highs. You have to go. Just like that. I bought into the hood trade at $78. You know why? Because when you're this close to all-time highs, you're going to all-time highs. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys saw AMD. There was a buyer on that stock last week, and he just sat there on the bid like old school. Just it was like what was that? Sir Larry buying Blue Star at 19. When it hits 19, buy it all. He was sitting there on the bid, taking in. I think it was like 15 million shares over 2 days, and that guy's not looking to make a quarter. And since that day, the stock's up another 15. There's money pouring into this market. And back to the AI space rockets and robots, what's it powered by? Semiconductors. SOXL from 9. We just hit the yearly VWAP. Do not get out of the SOXL. We're looking for 6 more points on this thing. So it's super bullish. And until we start breaking yesterday's lows and prior day VWAPs, I'm going to remain not just irrationally exuberant, psychotically exuberant right now. Let's go.
Everything is working, and as much as it seems like it's frothy out here, Nasdaq's trading back to new all-time highs. So many things are just set up perfect and look, perfectly actionable, coming out of little flags or little consolidations. Yeah, I think you got to be pressing the gas here, here, right now.
Speaking about pressing the gas, what do you think about WRD for a little catch up to the Uber trade? This is the Chinese Uber, as I'm told. I'm not sure if anything exists in China at all, but WRD does not want to die. And when they don't want to die, it's generally a buy.
These are the kinds of stocks I'm interested in right now. Like I was buying the XPEV yesterday, which I guess is similar. Yeah. But like these junky Chinese names that are half of them are probably frauds. Like that's the place to be right now.
Yeah. Like the more fraud, the better.
I was talking to Herb yesterday.
I mean, not for nothing, but yes, the more fraud, the better. The better they are at lying to people, the more money we're going to make. So I'm all for
it, man. It's just, and again, it's like all this stuff used to make me more bearish. Like, what am I even like? But now it's like you just got to be counterintuitive and realize that it's not about what you think it is. This is like you said, it's not your father's market anymore. It's my father's market. He's the one who told me the market never goes down. So congrats to my dad buying the dip on the Qs the whole way against me. No, not this time, Dad. Don't do it. Shut up. And he was right again. But listen, if you guys are in the chat room, I'll show you some levels that we should be concerned about. I'll be doing that today at 12. I'm going to go over I'll show you some levels that if you are concerned that there's going to be a rug pull or another shoe to drop or whatever they call it, whatever the reason that we're going to go down, I'll show you the levels to be worried about. And then you want to...
Everybody's talking about your new show, Kenny. I'm going to have to drop in, see what's going on in there.
Yeah, cool, man. And then within a couple of weeks, we'll have some guests. We'll have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it nice to finally be on a network where people are actually watching the show? People get invited to the show. People get replays of the show. Isn't it a beautiful thing, Kenny?
Yeah. Keep it going, baby. All good. Good time to be alive, right? Except if
Love
you
your
live
Could
in
be
bull
New York.
market
worse.
shirt.
Could be worse. You could be one of these assholes that thought we were in a bear market. Remember this spring? These assholes trolling me on the internet, telling me how I can't be going on vacation because it's a bear market. Remember that, Strazza? How'd that work
Yeah.
out, huh?
Oh, listen, I can
It
read
was
the
a bear
comments.
market.
The comments that I get online is funny. One guy said, "And you do this for a living?" As after May 11th, I said the market has no chance to ever go down ever again. And he wrote, "And you do this for a living?" I'm like, "Yeah. How you doing?"
Yep.
I learned the hard way. All right, guys, be good. Strazza, great shirt again. I'll see you. What are we wearing tomorrow? I got a whole collection.
Depends on what we do today.
Same
I
thing. You
really
think
good
all of a
tie-dye.
sudden the bull market's gonna end?
No, there's no end to the bull market. But I'll give you the price today. If there's any selling today, I'll give you my free present for you today. If the Qs decide to sell off and they break 390, 538.93, you might want to sell. How about that for an exact price?
Fail
All right?
breaky.
That's my algo price today. All right? Be careful.
Cool. Later,
Go
Kenny.
get him, Kenny.
Peace.
So, like JC, to this point, you want the trash here. So, Superman in the chat, China is a government-made market. It's fake, and its purpose is to make it up to attract more foolish.
Great.
Exactly where you want to be.
Yes.
Right? Right? Like,
There's a good
if
example.
that's true.
I want to bring up Kenny, for example. Kenny, a couple of months ago, when these quantum things were ripping, there was a company, I think it was like a biotech company or something like that, and it had quantum in the name. And Kenny's like tweeting about it, and somebody was like, "It's not even a quantum stock." Yes, exactly. They're pretending to be, and that's what we want. So the case of
Perfect.
China, where these communists are all lying to you, great. That's what we're looking for. The better they are at lying to you, the more we want to buy. That's what we're looking for here.
I'll tell you a quick story because it's so true right now. And we're literally doing this. Like people like you and I are out here doing this during the day. Yesterday, I started digging in a little too much to one that I own a little too much of right now. And what I was finding, I was giggling to myself at my desk, right? No CFO. I mean, revenue guidance is extreme to say the least. Nothing really smells good over there. People are comparing the company to Palantir. It's nothing like Palantir, right? So I'm like, oh, this is groovy. So I called Herb. I'm like, Herb, what do you know about this? And he was right there with me, dude. And I got off the phone and I was like, oh, hell yeah, this thing's about to be up 100%. Because that's just the kind of market we're in. You rent these stocks. You don't own them. You don't fall in love with them. You use them when the getting's good. When we hit euphoria stage, you want to be in those crazy names. They could be up 1,000%. We see it every cycle. And it's starting to happen now. You just use proper risk management and you could be in names like this. I think it's the right thing to do. I think it's irresponsible not to be overweight these names that are probably long-term terrible overweights, but right now they're the right thing to do. So it's tough for some people. You know what I mean? Hey, this is a terrible company, great stock, off probably a zero one day. You got to own a lot of it right now, right? It's hard to square those two things. It's hard.
Can we throw up slide 2, please? Because people are like, oh, it's a bull market, it's a bear market. How do we know? The last 2 years, S&Ps are up over 20%, 2 years in a row. And now this is what we're doing in 2025. So, like, what evidence at all is there that this is any kind of a bear market?
Shout out Israel.
Shout out Israel, outperforming last year, outperforming again. Sentiment from that part of the world has been down in the dumps that entire time. So a great example of don't listen to the noise and the angry people. Don't worry about that. Price is the only thing that pays. And I love the fact that how well Israeli stocks have done despite all that negative rhetoric. It's been great.
And you know what? While we're on that, throw China into the same category. Same thing.
Yeah.
And dude, I think China's so ready again, JC. Like every time people stop talking about China, it ramps again. Since last year, right? China pumps and then it goes sideways, it consolidates, long consolidation. Everybody's like, oh, forget China again. And then it ramps again. I haven't heard about the trade war in a while. We've been distracted by other headlines. And China's right up here on its range highs. It's completing this V, just like US indexes.
Dude, trade war.
What a base.
What did I say? What did I say coming into the year? Every time they say the word tariffs, you buy more Chinese stocks. You buy more stocks in general, but particularly the Chinese ones is what I was saying. The more they say tariffs, the more you buy. They haven't been saying that lately, though.
No.
Anything?
No, in fact, I wish we had some more tariff talk out here.
Yeah,
You know?
me too.
Climb that
Yeah,
wall
me
of
too.
worry.
Yeah.
You need that worry.
Um,
Baba's great. Love Bob. Baba 120.
Talk to me,
Reversal.
Steve Strazza, as someone, this is legitimate. You know, sometimes I'm here to share my ideas with people and be like, this is what I think, and da, da, da. Sometimes I like to ask questions, right? That's, you know, you should ask questions and shut the fuck up, right? That's how you learn.
Mhm.
So Steve Strazza, as somebody who I know for a fact has been looking at individual Chinese stocks more than I have in recent weeks,
Mhm.
what is the best Chinese stock right here, right now? Is it the Apple of China? Is it the Tesla of China? Is it the
No.
Google of China? What is it of China that we want to be buying right here, right now?
I'm gonna give you a boring answer because it's the right answer, and I'm
I'm
doing this
okay
in
with
two.
boring. I'm
Yeah.
okay. There's nothing boring about making a lot of money. I'm good
And
with that.
And I'm doing this in two different ways. Where like right now, I'm buying these junky Chinese speculative growth names. I'm trading them short term stuff like the Tiger, the Up FinTech TIGR, XPV we were looking at yesterday. Have a little position on that now. But then in my long term account, like I'm actually buying long term positions in the major, China tech players. And Alibaba is the Amazon. They are like them and Tencent. They're really the ones that you have to own out there. And this is the level. This has been the level. I think 120 in Baba, maybe drop a VWAP from, the year-to-date highs there and use that to kind of jump an entry. If you do, it's $2 higher from the current price. So just because Alibaba is so important, it is the blue chip, it is the bellwether, and it's so actionable, Baba's got to be the answer.
And Baba and FXI is the same thing.
No,
No?
I don't think so. You get a lot of industrials and different stuff in the FXI. Baba's probably a larger weighting in the techie ones. If I had to guess. Listen, I think you could buy the yin here.
Baba's like a
buy the
worse.
C-Web.
Baba's like a worse FXI.
What is Baba?
Baba is a worse FXI.
I don't know what to tell you. It's Alibaba. You get to buy the Amazon of China, literally at the perfect primary trend entry point. Is Baba 120, in my opinion. And you're right, JC. It hasn't been one of the strongest ones. It's not one of the leaders. You could point to some others like Build Your Dreams that are at
Build
new
Your Dreams
highs.
is your Tesla of China.
That's right. NetEase has been one of the best ones for me. You want a chart that just looks incredible breaking out. You want a leader out in China. This is like gaming, like digital multimedia stuff. I don't understand it. NTES, that's a big one that I'm in. That's like an honorable mention to the Shanghai Composite. You could almost consider this one as a mag.
Can we bring that back, the Shanghai Composite? Can we run that back? Run that back, Fonz, if you're out there listening. Steve Strazza, Chief Market Strategist at All Star Charts. Can you tell the guys to bring back that who loves the China Shanghai Composite?
Who?
One, Dan Ives. Dan Ives loves our Shanghai Composite. Loves it.
Sometimes we have really great ideas.
That was a great
this one was simple. The United States is very unique in the sense that we have these Mag 7 names that are just behemoths, right? They're multiples larger of the largest stocks in the world, right? They're so big, they're so powerful, the best business in the history of the world, these Mag 7s. Germany doesn't have that. Developed markets are outside of the US, they don't have these like dominant tech companies. That's just not there, right? When you go to China, they do have a similar situation to the United States. Due to barriers to entry into their market, right? We could get really political about why that is. But the fact remains that China has the biggest, strongest, most dominant tech companies in the world outside of the ones here in the United States. And you could make a similar like anchor position in them as you build a long-term portfolio or you build a long-term exposure to a region like China. Just like you would start with the Mag 7s and make them your anchor positions here as a US investor. In China, you go and you do the same thing, I think. So that's what the Shanghai Composite is. We just compiled a basket of names that are really like the Mag 7s. And it's so cool, JC, you can really draw like perfect parallels, right? Tencent is the Meta. Baidu is the Google. Build Your Dreams is the Tesla. Right? They have one for each one of ours. Don't have an NVIDIA yet.
What do you think of all this, Mr. Spencer? Do you approve, or do you have
Avago's in the Mag 7, yes.
Do I approve of the Shanghai Index, or I approve of everything? I approve of new highs. I approve of buy the junk, right? I mean, I'm looking at like a junky name from back in the day. Guys, remember QuantumScape?
QS. Squeeze them.
It's up 40. It's up 44% this morning, and they had some news. I'm not even going to pretend to understand what the news is. It doesn't matter. But it's 44% today. Bumble is up 15%. Bumble, right? I mean, they're buying the junk. So, you know,
Gotta do
is
it.
Bumble the one where the girls have to reach out to the guys?
Maybe it was at one point. I at this point, who knows who can keep track? But yeah, that was.
I think the CEO is like a pretty gangster.
That was the original shtick, was that the women have to message the men first.
It seems like
I don't know if that is still the case.
Inhumane.
I haven't been on.
Not to be sexist, just pure science. Isn't it the male's obligation to court the female? Isn't that like just science? Isn't that how that works? No,
I don't think so.
All right.
Phil Blotsky says, Spencer, big fart coin guy. Yes.
Hey, okay. Since we're talking about it, I don't actually have. Let's bring up the spot portfolio. Let's see where we're at. It's been a minute since I've looked at it. What's going on here? I have to remember how to log in. There we go. Okay. What's going on with the fart coin? Okay, I'm still in the green. All right. Not so good for the butthole and the flog and the bong.
You own the butthole coin?
Yeah.
BlackBerry spiking this morning.
BlackBerry, I think, had earnings.
Why don't you stop having kids and pay more attention to the morning show, and you wouldn't own such things?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I got a confession to make.
Are you pregnant?
No, I'm so long Pepsi calls.
Pepsi?
What? I was just about to say, if you're a real company, you don't care. But
yeah, Pepsi. And I'm like, is that really the right thing to do? Have a huge position in the Staples name? I don't know.
What is it? Like the $133 calls or something?
I see a coil like that in a great American brand, and I just can't help myself.
Yeah, and it's hard to bet against fat Americans, right? Like, if you want to be a trend follower, you bet that fat Americans are going to get fatter. And Pepsi is not just like poison soda. They own other kinds of poison too.
So much poison.
Oh, yeah.
Been beat up by the whole RFK thing. And I think Pepsi's ready. Dude, and also, by the way, there's a place in everybody's long-term account for stocks like this when they get cheap. Right? This is long-term investing. It's dividend investing. If you can get a company like Pepsi at a 5% yield, to me, that's ridiculous. And I'm going to take that all day. Pfizer at 7.25%, all day. Yes, please. Lockheed Martin, it's like 3 or 4% the other day. Like, I'll take that too. I'm always kind of looking for that stuff.
So we got. I mean, man, Pepsi owns a whole bunch of stuff here. If you want to throw up,
they own Gatorade, they own Fritos, they own
I'm literally putting up a slide. Give me 1 second. Throw up. Give me one more
Poison's
second.
making a comeback though. In general, like if you look at a stock like Monster, or even Celsius.
I'm bullish Poison.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ever seen that chart?
Throw up slide two there.
You ever seen that chart?
Refresh that.
I don't really drink any of this crap. I used to have a Coke problem. Love some Coke.
Be careful where you say that. You're down in South Florida, buddy.
I'm talking like 4 Cokes a day.
Look at all the poison these guys own: Quaker, Doritos, Fritos, Cheetos, Ruffles. They got the old Mountain Dew, Tropicana. I mean, just poison on poison on poison. Dr. Pepper. You're going to need to see the doctor more often if you're drinking Dr. Pepper. And then you got all these international names, many of which I am not familiar with because I don't know most of those names from the international brands, but that's okay.
Wait.
Yeah, some blast from the past in here. When's the last time you had a 7-Up? Nice.
Dude, how about a rice-a-roni?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, this is like okay, like it's like Starbucks is on here and Dr. Pepper, but they own like the grocery distribution.
Right, the
I
grocery
think.
version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, got it.
Bags of coffee and stuff.
Confused there for a
Pods.
minute.
Dude, Brisk still exists, like the iced tea.
I know.
That's crazy.
I mean, you guys ever seen that chart? It's like basically every snack food brand beverage you've ever heard of is owned by the same 5 companies. It's PepsiCo, it's Procter & Gamble, it's Unilever, it's Mondelez. There's like one more, right? Hershey, I guess, right? And like that's every snack food brand in the world is like those 5 companies. So
I only drink water and I'm still fat too, Bill.
okay.
That's
But
not
I
true.
can't
He drinks other things.
I can't, well, like beer and stuff. But I don't drink soda, and I would never. You wouldn't catch me dead drinking an energy drink. I can't remember the last time I had a. Have you ever tasted Red Bull? What is wrong with people? That's the most disgusting thing ever. It's like, so you got to. It literally tastes like piss, and it'll make you shake. $5.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What?
Okay. Elsewhere in Newsland, we had FedEx. What is FedEx down today? It's down only 3%. Not terrible. They had the tariffs is the bottom line on FedEx, right? Is what they said. So yeah, they came in above the estimates, but they issued soft guidance. So down this morning. I mentioned the QuantumScape already. We talked about the ASTS offering. What else did I have this morning? Oh, Red Lobster is bringing back the Crab Fest. All right, let's go. Crab Fest at Red Lobster. They're in bankruptcy filings anyway. I don't
Dude,
know,
those biscuits that they have,
Butter
Red
biscuits.
Lobster biscuits. Whew.
Honey
Shout
butter
out
biscuits.
Poison.
Or no, they're like cheesy butter biscuits. I can't remember the last time I've had one. You can buy those in the supermarket if you're feeling fat.
The rappers like rap about the Red Lobster biscuits.
They're good.
Yeah. I got a great recess today. But before we get into the recess, can you throw up slide 3, please? Slide 3. I want to give a big shout out to the homie. We got to get Barry on here, to the homie Barry Ritholtz.
Oh, awesome.
Barry Ritholtz's new book, How Not to Invest. Man, it's good. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Barry Ritholtz, co-founder of Ritholtz Wealth Management, partners with the homie Josh Brown, CEO of Ritholtz Wealth Management, now pushing $6 billion in assets under management. Not bad, fellas, not bad. Fastest growing RIA in the country. Shout out to Barry Ritholtz. Excellent book. So good. Put some quotes in there on my morning note. So make sure you give that a read. Strazza, it's so good, bro. It really is.
Gonna get it.
I get a shout out. Misquoted. God
That's why
damn
we
it,
like
Barry. You quote me. You can't even quote me right. It was the bigger the top, the bigger the drop, which is not even my quote. That's Luis Yamato all day and Alan Shaw before that. So I'm getting credit for quotes that aren't even mine. Getting misquoted. I still love you, Barry.
Barry is one of my single favorite people to read. And I still listen to his podcast like every week.
Oh yeah, I went through a thing where I binged his
good.
podcast. I binged it like about a year and a half ago. I listened to like 3 years worth of episodes in the span of like a couple months. You know, it just. But yeah, he's on my Mount Rushmore of like market thinkers. I think he's just a really good thinker.
And that's what it is. Yeah, I like you find yourself reading people whom you just love the way they think.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Barry's one of those guys.
Josh and I, back in the day, 20 years ago, we used to be Barry fanboys. We loved
Josh is
Barry.
one of those people for me too, by the way.
Yeah, we were Barry fanboys forever and ever and ever. And obviously they're partners now. And, you know, Barry and I became friends and he loves to argue with me about things, but we were just fanboys. I mean, that's really the truth. The truth of the matter is, and funny how the world works. Definitely read it. And if you haven't read Barry's first book, Bailout Nation, for those of you who may not have been around during the great financial crisis and want to get an inside scoop as to what the hell went down back then, Barry's book Bailout Nation is probably the best one. Not probably, it is. It's the best one.
It's the single best book I've read about the financial crisis. And back in the day, there were a lot of them, and we all read a lot of them.
You know what was cool is that Barry was blogging about. Barry was like blogging before people had blogs. Barry was would blog the chapters themselves as he was writing them, as the great financial crisis was like taking place. It was great.
So good. I remember.
So good. Yeah. So
All
read
right.
that book. Read both of them.
Hit the recess. They're pumping them pre-market.
Go ahead.
I don't have anything.
You don't have anything today. That's it. You said it all.
Go find yourself a stock with AI in its name and buy it. You're welcome.
I want to give a shout out to cookie dough ice cream.
The best.
Cookie dough ice cream. Underrated cookie dough ice cream. And if you can get some chocolate chunks or maybe some like fudge mixed in there with your cookie dough ice cream, man,
My favorite.
with a little champagne maybe goes nice. You could go a little don't be afraid to do a little California Chardonnay with that cookie dough ice cream. A little secondary fermentation, a little mallow in that Chardonnay. You know, that cougar juice that the Cougars love, that Chardonnay. That's what I'm talking about.
Cougar juice. There are many things that I eat and I think to myself, boy, I wish I had some spirits or wine, to go with this. But ice cream's not one of them. I don't need champagne with my ice cream. What's wrong with you?
I want to give a shout out. If you missed it yesterday, Steve did a little video, a little dance, if you will, with Herb Greenberg on Hims and Hers. I just dropped the link in chat. It's on our channel if you go watch it right now. About 20-25 minutes. Herb has been pounding the table on the bear side. Steve has bought calls and the comment at various points in the last few years, maybe, I don't know. So obviously the stock just had its worst day ever the other day, so they talked all about that and sort of what that means and how they'll approach it going forward. So just drop the link in chat, check it out for that.
That was fun.
Also oh shoot, my 1 second, there we go. What's it say? It says Wednesday. Yeah, so Kenny is back doing his thing, noon Eastern, right here on the channel and on stockmarkettv.com. The long and short of it, just basically a half hour with him walking through what happened in the morning and kind of, doing his thing. He's Kenny. He's awesome. We love him. Hot Corner members, you'll get your weekly video today as well. Riley over at Godspeed going live at the close, 4:00. He's talking about Tesla and the robotaxis because they're doing their thing. They're live in Austin, or maybe is it Austin? It is Austin, right? I think it's Austin. Part of Austin. So Robotaxi Palooza at 4:00.
Hopefully they don't blow up like the space rockets.
Yeah, hopefully not. And that's pretty much what I had to talk about.
Spencer, market's open.
Market's open. Oh, okay. Then let's get out of here. Go find yourself a stock with a 25% short interest. And,
go find yourself a fake company from China that these motherfuckers are lying to you about and buy as much as possible. That's what we should be doing.
I second that. If you guys know of any like really good frauds, please let us know about them.
Chime in on the chat. We're looking for good frauds.
Email us your frauds. Questions at stockmarketmedia.com. Email us
buy
your
your
frauds
all day.
Yep. All right. See you
We'll make
guys.
the universe.
Nice.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs.